Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it rain. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Tonight, we're gonna let it rain. Just like the sunrise, we're gonna let it rain.
Ember. Oh, Ember.
Miss Ember.
Oh, great, Ember. Tell me what I'm doing.
Appreciate you, Ember.
Love Ember. She's great.
Bottom of the barrel Ember bullshit.
Oh my God. Ember.
Ember. Ember.
Ember.
We love you, Ember.
You rock at that, Ember.
Ember is the queen.
We're neighbors, Ember.
I see you, Ember.
Hey, Ember is hot.
Hello, everyone. Happy, what is this, Wednesday?
Yes, Wednesday. Payday. Woohoo!
My audio is way too hot. I mean, somebody told me I look good in red.
Hey, Punker Postate was right. Ember is hot.
I'm feeling it too. I turned down my heater already.
Yeah,
overheat already. Oh, things we do for beauty. My goodness.
I know. So, I don't have nothing on beauty. No makeup, just little lip gloss on my lips, and I look chapped.
I mean, you know, whatever works. It's sometimes preventing chip. Okay, so once upon a time, I went exploring in a random part of the desert. There's a section of the Southwest where they have these geological formations called hoodoos. Google them. Some of them are really fucking cool. I found a spot where there were a bunch of these nifty formations. One where there's a rock that's like 16 feet long, just flying in the wind for no reason. Another one that's called, like, the name is Alien Throne, things like this. One that looks like a stone mushroom village. And so I wanted to go see it. And I happened to be traveling through the area. So I stopped. I I intended to spend the night and go exploring in the morning, but there was moonlight, so I couldn't resist going and getting some photos in the dark, which was neat. But come daybreak, I had my old ass coffee that had been in my car since the day before and took off to go explore. And I found 2 of the 3 things I was looking for, but I couldn't find my way back to my car. Like, I knew which direction it was in, but like the topography must have detoured me slightly, and I ended up lost in the damn desert for hours and hours, which isn't so bad, especially if you bring your water with you. I mean, I knew there was a highway over that way somewhere. I found the highway and I followed the highway back to my car, but it took me hours longer than I expected. And in the desert, the air just sucks the moisture right out of you. And my lips were so chapped and cracked, it took a week to heal. So yeah, chapstick is absolutely legit.
But I also heard that they actually make it to help you, but to actually need it in the end too. How they formulate it. It's kind of weird, something about it. Like they make it helps your lips, but you gotta constantly have to keep kneading it.
Oh, so you're so kissing is good for your health, is what you're saying.
I don't know. Because it keeps you moist, like your lips moist, I guess. I don't know. That's why I gotta wear chapstick, because
as long as you don't catch mono anyway. But that brings us to today's topic.
Basically bring up today's topic.
Yeah. we're doing divine STDs. What could possibly go wrong here? Now, you can probably guess a couple of the things we're going to be talking about. Oh my goodness. There's 2 main areas of the Bible that spring immediately to mind, right? And yes, today we're talking Bible stuff because it's one of those weeks. We're just going hog wild with the controversy. And in fact, on that note, more controversy later today. I'm doing one of those bonus shows that I do from time to time, Transfactual. There was a noteworthy court ruling that I want to talk about. I have a couple other prepared to go, but today I want to talk about the 4th Circuit Court ruling. It'll be really, really fun. It'll happen sometime this afternoon, probably. It's scheduled for 7 p.m., but it probably will be earlier than that. So, make sure you're subscribed, you have the notification bell rung, and maybe go click notify me, because even the notification bell doesn't always send notifications. Thanks, YouTube.
It doesn't. That's very true. I'd be like, wait. Then yesterday, I was like, everybody was having stuff at the same time last night. I was like, really?
I know.
I watch everything.
I mean, I was thinking about doing a bonus show yesterday, but there was so much stuff happening. Right?
Mark, and I think who else was on? I think the line, because Promise it was back on. I'm like, I want to see Promise, and I was like, I don't know what I'm about to do.
There was Punk Apostate was on in the afternoon.
Oh yeah,
immediately after that. Like, I mean, I could have squeezed a show in. Okay, first of all, for new creators, don't worry about when other people are on. Do a show when you can do a show.
Yeah.
Right? You're never going to find a free time when nobody else that you are on good terms with is on.
Yeah.
You have to do them when you can do them.
Yeah.
So don't sweat that. But I also want to watch some of these other shows too,
That's my point, yeah. And then I'm like, dang, if we both got the same, I'll be looking at it like, well, dang, some of the same people watch both our content. I mean, that person, somebody else got to pick and choose too. So sometimes, like during my show, we're doing Bree, because Saturday we have the In the Cut show every 1st and 3rd Saturday. But what can we do about it? But yeah.
I mean, you schedule it to make it easy for people to come back, but also sometimes bonus shows to try to catch new people. Sort of like we do here, because we're here every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, but I also do bonus shows kind of often, as I can, actually.
Yeah, and so I was supposed to have a recorded interview today. I might still have it if he comes on. And he's in South Africa, so I was going to be more lenient to his time because I get off work at early mornings. So we supposed to 10 o'clock his time would have been like 2-3 o'clock my time. But he had an emergency meeting with his job. So he could not go on. So I was like, well, you're going to have to wait till I'm available at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. My time be 7 o'clock your time. So we'll see if you'll pop in and we do the recorded meeting. If not, oh well, we'll find another day and time to do it.
That's right. And that is another thing. A lot of times we get so caught up in doing lives that we forget that, as Sapphire points out, VODs are always a thing. You can watch a live back later. I realize it's much more fun to be in the live chat, which is why if you're watching in the future, hello, future people, make sure you subscribe so you can join us in the live chat. But often it depends on the show. Some shows have to be watched live because there's no rewatch value. But some shows, what I try to do with this show is to learn things so that there's a reason for people to watch later because they can still learn the thing, But that's not the only option. As Maya points out, you can just do recorded videos. That's a thing that can still be done. And those are intended to be watched whenever the hell you have time. So time slot is less important for that. So
I need to start learning how to do those better, do recorded videos and stuff. Like how people can do videos and they'll have a just thing on the screen and talking for an hour by themselves about knowledge and stuff, and that's cool. I gotta learn how to do that so I can make better content. Like Cynthia's Corner, it's perfect example. Short video explaining something important.
Speaking of Cynthia, I presume you mean Cam. Her channel, The Roots Matter. She just yesterday, the day before, released a new video about changes at the president's house in Philadelphia pertaining to Trump's "Let's Erase Black People" executive order. And I mean, not just because it's Black History Month, but because erasing people because we want to homogenize the entire country and rewrite its history is extremely not cool for every imaginable reason. And so go check out Cam's video on The Roots Matter.
And them like that, people understand is that even though it may not say your group, it's going to get to your group. If you're not rich, cis white, billionaire man, you don't care to matter to them. And so people don't understand that. It's a sad thing to understand that.
Today they're erasing Black people and us rainbow folks. And in 2 years they'll be erasing
immigrants,
everybody who isn't Catholic,
exactly.
or Baptist or whatever flavor decide on.
That's why you gotta stick together and go to our compound and be happy.
Fire says, I've heard Dapper's power comes from getting high and really annoyed before scripting. That's probably wise. I really enjoy Dapper's lives are fantastic. Dapper Dinosaur, for anybody who doesn't know, he's a dinosaur, but he's also ridiculously knowledgeable about a ridiculous amount of things. And sometimes even languages. But his lives are fun, but his pre-recorded stuff gets pretty wild. He gets snarky in a science way, and I fucking love it.
I've heard of Dapper Dinosaur, but I've never watched their content.
It's worth a view. It's not everybody's cup of tea, but if you love science and you especially if you love dunking on pseudoscience, you may be in for a good time. And speaking of being in for a good time, we have dawdled a bit, as we often do at the beginning of a show.
Oh, I thought somebody was about to come in.
Well, it's not unthinkable.
Oh no.
I did send invitations to the usual suspects, plus a couple of other possible people who might be interested in this sort of thing. And so you never know. They may drop in at any time.
Is this the same people that did the cartoon?
Mhm.
Rahab?
I noticed when I was grabbing that they had a couple others, and that's what inspired, because I plan these episodes a couple of weeks ahead whenever possible. And so what I was getting the video for Rahab and the spies, I saw a couple of and I'm like, oh my goodness, the burning bushes. Oh, we're doing a thing. So how much do you know about Moses's burning bush?
I mean, I heard the story that Chris always talks about. I don't know that what do you call it? But no, I don't. I heard anything about this one. No, I don't think I can say I know much.
It's not one of my specialties. I have my biblical knowledge is very intermittent, right? Like I was on a scholarly adjacent Bible study show for a while, but I was only there for like the back end of Genesis through part of Deuteronomy. So I didn't, there's parts that I got and parts that I didn't in depth. And then there's other parts that like have been brought up, like Justin Deconstruction Zone will occasionally like hyper focus on a chapter and like really break down what happened as a means to making another argument. And sometimes that sort of thing will give me more depth on a certain passage, but it's just that passage, not the whole book, you know? So it's very scattershot. I've read through the entire Bible 3 times, but it is a very boring book and it's very hard to remember much of it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say I read the whole thing, but I've looked at a lot of it. But yeah, I'm like, that's why I'm like, maybe I need to, yeah, like it's certain scriptures or certain passages that I read. I'm like, man, like me to more exciting is like the like Zeus and stories, you know, those kind of mythical books. That's what I find more interesting for me.
Right.
Those
Like
interesting
the
to me.
Odyssey and the Iliad.
Yeah, those are interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool shit that happens in those.
The mythical books, I can read those.
I mean, they're all mythical books.
Yeah,
it's just a
yeah,
different storytelling style.
yeah.
All right, let's dive in and see if we can find some ointment to help Moses with his burning in his bushes.
After a long journey, Moses was able to escape from the Pharaoh, and he made it to a land called Midian. There, Moses laid down near a well.
I love the 2-dimensional characters.
I know
that. Like I'm positive they think they're doing like Bible stories the right way or whatever, but like they're so just pulling back the curtain and revealing there's nothing there. It's just a puppet show. It's so wild.
What I don't understand is why do they need to make this story a cartoon for kids?
Because
I'm trying to understand that. Like, what does he
actually
know
answer that?
What does he need to know about burning bushes?
We have a video specifically to explain why they target the kids. Check this out.
I have a problem with this stuff being normalized across the spectrum, and specifically, like, why push this on kids? Why introduce this to kids?
I am a depraved wretch. I am a great sinner. I'm a worm, completely undeserving of any love or any grace. I'm nothing. I'm nothing.
You're incapable of being a good person. You're an evil person. You're a terrible person. At the core fabric of who you are. That's why we need laws. We need laws because we're bad people. All of us are bad people.
You can't spell Pride Month without demon. PRIDEMONTH.
If we don't know who the women are, because they are just people, then we won't be able to pull the women up to equality with men.
We have to try to limit the harm And that means reducing or keeping down the number of people who transition. And that's for two reasons. One of them is that every one of those people is a person who's been damaged. But the second one is every one of those people is basically, a huge problem to a sane world.
Transgenderism must be eradicated.
The LGBT, transgender, grooming our children's minds is a national security threat. We need to hold people for treason, start having some public hearings, and start executing people.
I will use whatever gives me victory. I don't care about the truth, and I don't care about the law. I care about one thing, the control.
But then they rigged the election, and now we won, so I'm going to be your president. Then what happened is they rigged the election, and I became president, so that was a good thing.
I agreed with many, many things you said during, in fact, probably more than most other candidates when you were running for president, but I still would not have voted for you because you're an Indian.
I just want to say I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes.
It was actually a tremendous blessing to these children for them to be killed and go to heaven and be with God.
We've been hoodwinked. We've been taken in by an ideology crafted by creeps and then pushed on children.
Stop letting people pressure you into thinking.
If they die, they die.
I want to be ignorant, honestly.
Being a Christian doesn't exclude us from experiencing spiritual dryness.
We're bad people. All of us are bad people.
And if you're experiencing spiritual dryness, well, we have an answer for that one too. Head on over to epicwaterfilters.com. Enter code number 15 at checkout for 15% off. Be a responsible hydro hoe and use protection.
Unlike what he did.
I know, like Moses just dunks into the fucking well and bloom, he passes out. It's oh my goodness.
He had to burn it. He had this burning bush burning. He didn't let the fire out.
Yeah. But to answer the question, they crafted this ideology to target children and then pushed it. Like the nationalist Christians, like the whole group of them, are the entirety of the Epstein files. And apparently Bill Gates too, but fucking whatever. Like it's oh my goodness. So yeah, there's that. As long as you're judging people, controlling their lives, trying to divide them, you're this shade of skin tone, you need to go into this bucket, and if you're this shade, you need to be over here, and all of this divisive bullshit. I have a little note about this that I'll get to in the bonus show later because it kind of goes along with it. But the dividing thing, it's just divide and conquer. It's just so they can have all the power and no oversight, so that they can hurt children. Epstein files. They're
I will be right back. Sugar is summoning me.
Oh. The sugar calls. All right, we'll play with Moses a little bit more.
To rest. At that moment, 7 young girls arrived who sought to get water from the well to give
Well, that's how you end up with a burning bush, I tell you what.
To their sheep. However, the shepherds who then got there mistreated them and stopped them from drinking water from the well. The well is ours. Get away from here, they said. The well is our father's. It doesn't belong to you, they responded. Watching everything that was happening, Moses decided to intervene to help the young ladies and defend them from the shepherds.
So there is, first of all, I don't care how buff shepherdy you are. You're not going to beat 7 girls if you try to get physical, like especially farm girls. what the fuck? But also, like, this is such a tactic, right? Like, if you see men being a bully and you stand up to defend the girls, then the girls will like you. It's so fucking weird. It's so weird. That said, if you do see men being assholes to women, maybe tell the men to fuck off.
Then he helped the girls take water out of the.
He chose violence. But of course, this is Old Testament, where choosing violence is the godly way.
well and give the sheep a drink.
Oh, I see. We're gonna water the sheep, and to hell with the women. Don't matter. I know they're there to get water for the sheep. We're being silly. Don't mind me.
Bye. The girls were the daughters of a priest in Midian named Jethro.
What? I understand it's a joke, the magazine, right? Like they obviously don't have magazines at the time. They don't even have papyrus yet. They haven't stolen that technology from the Egyptians. But like, is Noah supposed to still be alive and doing interviews? Like, what is happening? And also chickens. Chickens are an anachronism at this point.
Jethro was Hebrew, but he was a good man who loved God very much.
Huh?
When his daughters made it home, Jethro asked them,
why are there so many pigs? Like this is a big deal in the Old Testament. Is pigs are unclean, don't touch them, don't eat them, don't do anything with them. But then every story there's pigs all over the place, right? Like from these old stories through Jesus casting the demons into the flocks of swine. Like, why are there so many pigs if they're unclean and no one is supposed to have anything to do with them?
why have you come back so soon? Because an Egyptian stranger helped us and got rid of the shepherds for us. He even got water out of the well for the flock to drink, they responded. And where is the...
He even got water out of the well. What a remarkable deed for a person to do at a well.
This man, he asked. Why did you leave him alone? Invite him over to eat with us. The girls found Moses and invited him to dine with them. Jethro, seeing that Moses was a good person, offered to...
How did they find him? Was he still loitering by the well? Was he like just hanging out? And also, why do they call him an Egyptian when he's very clearly, you know, white and delightsome, like people from Palestine? Clearly.
Let him live in his house. And Moses accepted. A few days later, Moses and one of Jethro's daughters, named Zipporah, fell in love and got married.
A few days later. My good, like this is the quickest romance. I realize, again, Old Testament, so shit happens like bang, bang, bang. But so imagine you're Zipporah, right? You're hanging out with your 7 sisters, which does have mythological meaning, of course. But you go to this well, there's these 2 guys that are being jerks. Some random hobo dressed in Egyptian clothes comes out and gives them a hard time. Fabulous. Draws water for you. Fabulous. Waters the sheep, etc. You invite him to dinner, and then you decide you're going to marry him a couple days later. Like, I realize this is a mythological story about gods and shit, but this kind of crap, it kind of pushes the limits of disbelief, you know?
Eventually, they had 2 children. One was named Gershom, and the other Eliezer. A lot of time.
They did have much more creative names back in the day, right? Eliezer and Zipporah. And Zebulon. Zebulon's a biblical name. Did you know? That name hasn't been in use for ages. Not since the last Zebulon I know of in the United States was Zebulon Pike, whom Pike's Peak is named for. It's a great name, but no one uses it anymore. They just don't make them like they used to.
Passed, and then the king of Egypt died, and a new pharaoh came into power. The Israelites thought they would stop being slaves, but it was quite the opposite. It turned out to be much worse.
Oh no, the new pharaoh is evil.
continued to be upset with their condition as slaves. They cried out to God for help.
Why? I realized that the story tells why they were enslaved in the first place, but like, why hasn't God saved them yet? Like, God is this all-powerful being, and they're the chosen people. They're the descendants of his chosen buddy Abraham, right? They're his family, and God watches over them and protects them. Yet not only has God let them get into this predicament and not save them for generations, but requires a specific person to act in order to free them. He can't just do it. He needs Moses to do it for him. How powerful is this God that Moses has to do the work? It's a similar problem to the conquest, right? Like, God is so powerful, he needs the Israelites to go in and physically unalive all the Canaanites in order to give them the land. You know, it's kind of weird that it's the humans who have to do the things.
That God had abandoned them. One day, on Mount Horeb, Moses was taking care of Jethro's sheep, when suddenly he saw something very strange.
Isn't it fascinating that all the prophets are shepherds? It's almost like herding sheep and herding humans are sort of the same profession.
Strange. On a mountain.
As Terry Pratchett famously pointed out, if that God spirit had appeared to a dude in the next valley over, then the stories would have all been about goat herding. And sheep need to be forced. Goats need to be led. And so we would have ended up with a very different religion.
He saw a bush called bramble set on fire.
Who named the bush? Why do bushes have names? And also that looks like a tree, but never mind.
Moses noted that the bush was not burning up and said, "Wow, how incredible! I'm going to see why the bush isn't burning."
Now that's good science, right? Like, you see a bush that's burning but isn't burning, you want to go find out why. You want to investigate. Cool. I approve the science. It is worth noting that there are a few places around the world where there are natural gas leaks. And not only do these natural gas leaks have a tendency to cause visions from hypoxia, but they also cause fires that don't actually burn anything because they're burning the natural gas. If one happened to be near a bush, whatever. Now, you can find these all over the world, but you can find a lot of them in the Middle East because there's 3 continental plates meeting there and lots of cracks in the Earth's crust.
Then Moses heard a voice calling to him. "Moses!" "Huh? I am here." "Moses, don't go any closer," said the voice. "Take off your sandals, because you are standing on holy ground."
Shouldn't he wash his feet first to be on holy ground? And also, like, okay, I have many thoughts. I can't possibly go through all of them. I learned last night from Misinterpretations show with AJ that synesthesia can process in a bunch of different ways. And one of the ways it can manifest is especially in a temporary situation where perhaps you're having partial hypoxia from breathing in natural gas instead of oxygen, is you might hear your own internal thoughts as if they were an external voice. Perhaps this plays a role. Like, when I start hearing bushes say my name, I mean, yes, it makes me very curious. I want to do a science about it.
Or
But I'm going to
mental
be a
illness.
little skeptical. Oh, hey, Kelly's back. Hello.
Yeah. Or maybe it's a mental illness. I'm not saying you individually, but that person.
It's, well, I mean, it's a hypothesis that would have to be ruled out, I suppose. I just, partly because of the stigma around it in our society, I tend to be reluctant to jump to that as the first conclusion, you know? Dr. Kip says, interestingly, Mount Horeb in the story is called the Mountain of the Gods. Plural. Many gods. How curious. Almost like lots of people hear from gods up there. And also almost like there's lots of gods.
Who are you? I am the God of your father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. When Moses heard this, he fell.
So if a guy is like hearing his own name, hallucination, mental illness, whatever the case may be, you know, assuming a naturalistic cause, trying to reason out what it might be. If you're a religious person raised to believe you're of the tribe of the chosen people, Abraham and Isaac and so forth, it's not unreasonable to think that the very first thought was maybe this is the voice of God. And if you're externally perceiving internal thoughts, that's exactly. Now, once again, Moses almost definitely did not exist, right? There's zero evidence of this dude. There's zero evidence of the things that he was said to have done, many of which are impossible and contradictory to other stories elsewhere in the scriptures, most especially being writing about his own death and afterward. But like, there's still naturalistic ways to explain what may have happened if anything had happened at all.
Fell to the ground. He was scared to look at God. And God said to him, I see how cruelly the Egyptians treat my people. The time has come to save them. I will bring them back to the land that I promised Abraham and Isaac, a beautiful land, good and spacious, a land where there is an abundance of milk and honey.
Is there, you know, there's a lot of things that what's currently Palestine is known for. I don't believe milk or honey is one of them. I mean, I'm sure there is honey. There's honey mentioned in the Bible. So there's honey in the region, right? Like agriculturalists are cultivating bees and whatnot at this time. Maybe at this time. Maybe it's later. Who the fuck knows? But there is honey. And of course, there's also definitely milk. They have goats and sheeps and shit, if not oryxes. But is a land known as the land of milk and honey legitimately a thing that would have been like, is that what the Canaanites exported in this era? I'm skeptical.
Yeah. Because how are they able to harvest the bees and stuff? Okay. Yeah.
I have questions, is the point.
Referring to the country of Canaan. So prepare yourself to leave, Moses. I am sending you to the Pharaoh so that you may free my people, the Israelites, from Egypt. Moses said to him,
But why? I mean, I know every hero's journey. Why me? But also, why don't you do it, almighty God being? Like, what can I, a mortal, do that you cannot?
I just mentioned.
Who am I?
We have such intelligent people. Misinterpretations. Just comment we were talking about the voices and stuff. I just saw that pop up.
Oh yeah, the misinterpretation says hearing inner dialogue outside your head and thinking it is someone else is a description of schizophrenia. I think it'd be a potential symptom, but there's, I mean, you know, not to split hairs about it, but there's like, you can have schizophrenia and not have that and have something else instead, you know?
Yeah.
As I understand it anyway. Schizophrenia, thankfully, is one of the things that I've never experienced.
Me either.
I'm not important enough to tell the Pharaoh to let our people leave Egypt. I will be with you. But the Israelites won't believe that I'm speaking for you, said Moses. What will I say to them if they ask me what your name is? What will I respond? God said to him, I am who I am. That is my name.
That's not an answer, Busty. What will I tell them your name is? I am who I am, and that's all that I am, which clearly indicates that this God is Popeye the Sailor Man. Toot toot. Oh my God, I just got that.
They got that song in my head now.
I know. Did you know, fun random fact, people come here for the tangents, it is known. Did you know that Popeye originally sold cornflakes?
No.
The spin thing came later.
I did not know that.
Yeah, a lot of children's programming in the 40s and early 50s, well, much like today, was designed to sell products. It was just a big commercial with a story built in, right? And it was when people started to get nostalgic for it that they'd bring it, but like it started as a radio show. Actually, it may have even been a comic first, but there's an old radio show where Popeye sells cornflakes, and that's what gives him his strength. It's later on, after that brand of cornflakes or whatever the fuck goes out of business, that they end up bringing in the spinach growers are like, we want to sponsor Popeye, and that's how he got associated with spinach, is they sponsored the program.
I never knew that. I never mean being spinach. And too bad it's not Tuesday, so we can
Oh,
give you a hamburger today.
Yeah.
For Tuesday next week.
Damn it, now I want a hamburger. Oh, I'm so having lunch right after this.
What do you have?
I am has sent me. That's what you will say to the people. Tell them that the God who chose them as a special people.
Wait. So what we're setting up is a situation where Moses goes back to the people, the Israelites trapped in Egypt, and says, I've been sent by God. And they go, what is the name, or who is this God? And Moses is supposed to say, I am. The story doesn't go that way, but that's what's being set up.
Yeah.
You know, tell them I am when asked, you know?
Has sent you. Moses did not feel ready to do what God was asking of him. He tried to come up with many excuses. What if they don't believe me when I tell them who you are? Then what do I do? The Israelite elders and leaders will believe you, said God. And to prove that I am with you, ask the Pharaoh to all you to take my people to the desert for a 3-day journey to worship me. I know very well that the Pharaoh will not accept this. So then I will show my power by punishing all the Egyptians.
Oh. So this was originally supposed to be a 3-hour tour. I mean, a 3-day cruise. I mean, a walk through the landscape.
3-day worship.
Yeah. The 3 days again.
But of course, it turns in 40 days and 40 nights. 40 years.
This was supposed to be 40 days. Only got, well, we do that with vacations already, right? Like they'll tell you, oh, it'll be a 3-day vacation with 2 nights. So like you can't even stay the 3rd night and then leave in the morning. It's nope, that's the 3rd day, get out.
I always wanted that about the hotels. Like, wait a second. I can't clock in or check in until 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I gotta leave at 11. So I don't really get a full day.
Yeah, it's a scam, folks. It's capitalism again. They're trying to like
capitalism.
A few hours here and a few hours there. You only lose a couple of hours, but over the course of like the whole hotel for the whole week, they're stealing hundreds of hours. Those add up into days. 3 days for them, anyway.
Moses said, but what if they still don't listen to me? God asked him, what do you have in your hand? My rod, he answered. Throw it.
This is God he's talking to, right? Like, why is he still like,
know that what that is?
What if they don't listen to me? And why isn't God just like, do it, mortal? You know? I command thee. The fuck?
To the ground, he said. Moses let it fall to the ground, and it transformed into a serpent. Moses tried to run away from it, but God commanded him.
See, that right there, I realize it's supposed to be like a miracle or whatever, and it's supposed to align with the miracles of the gods of Egypt, and there is absolutely literary significance to that. my serpent is bigger than your serpents. But it also calls back to Genesis, right? Like, God lied, the serpent told the truth. So the serpent is sort of like, from a direct, obedient perspective, the serpent is a representation of sin and the fall and so forth. But from a mystery cult perspective, the serpent is the keeper of truths and secrets that God doesn't want you to know. And either way, this is a callback to that. It's saying that either this isn't God talking to Moses, at least not the same God as was in Eden. This is something related to the serpent pretending to be God to misdirect Moses, or that the God that you've been told is God is not the actual God. Like, this is sort of, it's sort of a conspiracy theory sort of deal within the Bible, that the God who's proposed as God is actually the worker of iniquity, the creator of evil, the father of lies that you're warned about in the New Testament. This is where the Gnostics get the idea of the demiurge. The first God is evil, and Jesus came to save us from the evil God, you know?
This is a slippery slope, but I did look a little into the book of Judas, and they kind of talked about this, about how the God that we worship is not really the real God. That's what that book was. But that's a long slippery slope to go down.
It's fun. That's one of the reasons that there's so many books that didn't get included. It isn't just alternative versions of Jesus. It's in alternative, arguably heresies about the religion Christianity descends from in the first place. Like, if you wandered around first century Israel being like, oh yeah, the Lord is actually evil, they probably wouldn't look too kindly upon you, you know?
I need to go more into that, but it was a while ago. I did look into that, and I was like, are you serious? But that made a lot of sense. That was when I was deconstructing. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
And it was more interesting than than some of the books in the actual Bible.
There's some very interesting ideas, and do bear in mind, all of them have roughly equal credibility. The big books that were picked for the canonical Bible were chosen for political reasons, not because they're necessarily more true or more accurate, you know?
Yeah.
So there's that. I don't remember if I read Judas or read about Judas, but I do recall somewhere I picked up the idea, and this is valid for mainstream Christianity as well. If everything is God's plan, then Judas betraying Christ is part of God's plan. He had to do that the same way Jesus had to die, you know?
Exactly.
Him to grab it by its tail. When Moses grabbed the serpent, it once again turned into the rod in his own hands.
Wow.
Now,
so when he grabbed his rod, it got stiff?
You know what?
Damn it, Ember.
Damn.
All right. Things are getting a little spicy. Let's go back to the well for a minute and hydrate a little. Hey folks, I've been working hard on my health, and so far I've lost over 140 pounds. A huge part of good health is hydration. That's why I'm thrilled to partner with Epic Water Filters. Check this out. Not only can you say goodbye to expensive bottled water, but these filters are made in the US, so no tariffs, and they're made to fit your life. From these lovely pitchers I can fill from, to sink units, to portable filters that fit in your reusable bottle. With Epic, I can refill from nature's water sources and not have to worry about bacteria and whatnot. But also, send back a used filter to be responsibly recycled, and they'll send you a free replacement, saving you and the earth even more. Want to save a ton of money, be healthier, and build a better world? Head to epicwaterfilters.com and enter code EMBER15 at checkout for 15% off. Don't settle for random water. Upgrade to Epic. And you know, Epic Water, it's not just Epic. It's the filters are so good. The water you get is so pure. It's holy. Not that nasty bacteria soup you get in churches. This stuff will actually wash away your sins. Get saved and save the planet. EpicWaterFilters.com, code EMBER15.
I'm going to need to get one of those water filters. It's on my bucket list. I said I was going to get a t-shirt, and I finally did that. So that's one part. I have to keep on doing it.
Hell yeah. If my financial situation ever gets any better, there's so many things I need to get. And so many of our friends have cool merch, but like,
yeah,
some of my merch I kind of want to get too. It's wild I can't afford my own merch, but I need food more, you know.
I got you.
Priorities.
Is that my beautiful goddess? Hi, Ryan.
Oh, is Ryan lurking?
Yes. Beautiful Ryan.
Probably playing with her pickle. Oh my goodness. I'm inspired to do a talk that I probably shouldn't do on YouTube because we've been getting demonetized a lot this week because we keep getting a little too spicy. And c'est la vie. It's fun though, but like I kind of want to do a show about orgasms because there's a lot. Americans are such fucking prudes. We never talk. It's a function of your anatomy. It's just biology. It's just chemistry and neurons and things. But like, ooh, it is to do with something sex related. We can't talk about that ever. Fucking I blame the Puritans. They're the worst.
Bring your hand to your chest. Moses brought his hand to his chest, and when he took it off, his hand was covered with leprosy. Bring it to your...
What the fuck? I forgot this part.
Yeah, what the hell?
God's like, you touched your rod right in front of God, and now you're covered in leprosy. Okay, this is why we can't talk about orgasms, at least not in front of God and everyone, because this is how you get leprosy, apparently.
Your chest again, insisted God. Once again, Moses brought his hand to his chest, and when he took it off, it was on the rest of his body.
Oh.
If the first miracle isn't enough...
So you're seeing a hallucination of fire wreathing this bush that is not being damaged. It's not actually on fire. You're seeing your staff turn into snakes. You're hearing voices, and now you just hallucinated leprosy on your hand. My dude, you are having a very bad trip. Like, go drink some water, preferably filtered water, and take a fucking nap.
You might have ate something in the desert that was
for real.
You ate something in the desert, or sometimes they'll say that when you're in the desert too long, that you do have hallucinations and stuff.
It's entirely believable, because like first of all, you're starved for sensory input. Depending on what kind of desert you're in, there's a lot of different kinds of desert. But like the flat, empty wasteland kind, you're gonna get road blindness, right? Like when truckers drive across long, flat, straight wastelands, you get highway hypnosis and you just kind of zone out. And that's when you're very, very prone to hallucination, because if your eye notices anything different, it will trigger a reaction response before you even have the visual data of what it is that you're seeing really processed, right? Because if you see something, your first thought, because this is how humans are evolved, is the first process for a threat. And if it's not, back off, So you're driving along, you're going very fast, and all of a sudden you see like a black spot. And you're like, oh shit, it's a giant dog. It's actually like a fly or a fucking tumbleweed or something, But
you
perceive it and then you react as if it were a danger. And if you lose sight of it before you can get a better view, you never figure out what it actually is. It's lodged in your memories like 1 or 2 frames in whatever frame rate you're processing as a giant dog or a jaguar, whatever the fuck your brain comes up with, you know?
That's happened to me a few times.
Jason, it was a staph infection. Oh my goodness.
To make them believe you or listen to you, said God. Then maybe they'll believe you with the second. Oh, Lord, I'm not good at talking. I am slow to speak and clumsy with my tongue. It is very difficult.
You know, if you're clumsy with your tongue, practice makes perfect, bestie. His poor wife. He can't get his staff hard without getting high first. He's clumsy with his tongue. Like, how do you have children, my guy?
For me to talk, insisted Moses. Moses tried to come up with all the excuses imaginable so that God would send another person. Moses! God became angry with Moses and said, I will send your brother Aaron. He will meet you and go with you. He is a good talker. Aaron will speak to the people for you. You will tell him.
Here's God speaking out of a fucking bush. And he's like, I have to send a human to speak for you to speak for me because I can't, even though he's talking out of a bush. What the and also remember, this is the same God who just a little while later will start striking people fucking dead for using the wrong incense. You know?
Yeah.
Like, what Moses is like, no, Lord, I can't. No, Lord, I can't. Why is he not dead? You know, like smite.
In everything I say to you, don't forget to take that rod with you, because with it, you'll perform miraculous signals. Finally,
that rod is your symbol of manhood. I mean, your source of power. I mean, it's for miracles. It really.
Moses did not have any excuses left. He obeyed God and left from there. He took his family.
He just leave. There's this miraculous. Okay, if you want to like worship your God and you find a place where you think your God is, there's a miracle in progress. The fuck world is it where you just like, okay, and turn around and leave? Like, I'm not buying it.
Said goodbye to his father-in-law.
Okay, bye.
Moses and his family began the journey back to Egypt.
Sure, bring the kids. It'll be fine. Do you think they're going to tell us about what happened on the way to Egypt? Let's find out, shall we?
Yes, I want to know. I don't think
Moses
they are.
carried a rod in his hand, which would be the tool God would use to
There he
demonstrate
is, rubbing his
power to the
rod.
Israelites and Egyptians.
he rubbed one out, and he's like, "Oh, oh no! This is for children. What are we doing?" No, that's it. That's the end of this. Okay, so remember, God just sent him on a super important mission that only he can accomplish with his magic rod and his leprosy hand, right? On the road, like the night on the road, Yahweh appears physically in front of none of this burning bush business. He just appears and doesn't say a word, charges right at Moses to fucking murder him. He has this important mission. He has to free the Israelites. But no, Yahweh's, fuck it, we're going to murder him because Yahweh changes his mind because his thoughts are linear. But that's a reference to another show. His wife grabs a flint knife and mutilates their son's penis And the foreskin flies for. She does it so forcefully. The foreskin flies forward, lands. I forget if it's Moses's foot or Yahweh's foot, whatever. It lands on someone's foot, and that makes Yahweh just stop attacking. Now, in fairness, if I wanted to murder a disobedient bitch, and someone started flinging foreskins at me, I'd probably back the fuck off too, because these fuckers are crazier than I am, you know? But what the fuck story is this? It's clearly an insertion. I mean, the whole story's mythological, but this is inserted. Yes. Because it doesn't make any damn sense. Yahweh's pussyfooting around with burning bushes and hallucinations and shit, but then he appears physically for no reason. On the eve of this very important mission for no reason, and doesn't even say you need to circumcise your son or you're dead. He just charges at him as if to kill him. And his wife somehow knows the answer is to mutilate the genitals of the child. And that will make Yahweh happy somehow. Like,
yeah.
It's such a weird story. I can't imagine why they left that out of the children's cartoon.
Oh yeah, why?
About all this. It's just, oh my goodness. Oh, all right. So we have we do have some more diseases, as I'm sure you can imagine. There's more diseases. And folks, this is just the Christian Bible. Well, I mean, technically this is the Old Testament, so it's all the Abrahamic Bible's stories. But there are so many other stories of plagues and whatnot. But we don't have to go very far. In fact, I think it's like the next chapter to find some plagues. Now, the odds of us getting through this video are very low, but I'm sure we could have some fun with it while we're here. But first, I want to recognize Jester has been a member for 30 months. Holy shit.
You need to have some kind of
I know
music or
I know I need like a proper thing.
Yes,
I can like
yeah.
I'm sure Jester I do have a little bit of a soundboard. Where the hell is it? Someone showed me this.
Channel member for 30 months.
And also I have too much fun with my toys. I have to add more sounds to the proper soundboard, though. But for the time, thank you, Jester. That's fucking incredible. That's 2.5 years, folks. That's 2.5 years.
And even after I joined and is a part of the morning show a lot, they still decided to stay.
Well, I mean, if I didn't scare Jester away, I mean, okay. Jester's been around so long, he knew past Ember.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, Jester's been here longer than this version of Ember has. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But we have some plagues. Let's dig in and see how many plagues we can get to. And
are you about to engage in blasphemy?
Oh yeah.
I want to look and see if I have. Okay, thank you. I'll look that up right now.
If you have some blasphemy.
No. I saw the game thing, and I'm thinking about if we have. I was just thinking about something because somebody stupidly asked on our work on Facebook, "Are we having the Super Bowl? Are we gonna have the day after Super Bowl off?" Of course we're not
done the sports ball thing for this year yet. I thought that was in like January.
I'm not caring about no sports ball. I care about Bad Bunny, and then I found out Green Day gonna be performing the intro. That's all I care about. That's all I'm gonna be watching.
Yeah, that's worth. You know, weirdly, I remember when I was a teenager, I didn't care about the sports ball. I thought the commercials were funny, but I would always switch over for the halftime show because I never cared about that to watch, like, I think it was Celebrity Deathmatch was on back then. That was kind of funny. But like for Green Day, I might tune in, you know? It's wild how things change over the years.
Yeah, I don't care about the game.
Moses went towards Egypt, just as God had ordered. On the way, Moses found his brother Aaron, and they greeted each other.
Almost like God predicted or something.
Yay! Aaron told him that God spoke to him, telling him to go meet Moses in the desert. Moses told his brother,
Oh, so God speaks to Aaron too. Well, that's interesting because remember later on with the golden calf and all that, Aaron is like with the golden calfers. But if Aaron can speak to God too, how the fuck did that happen?
Yeah,
you know?
I thought you was the chosen one, Moses.
Yeah, what's up?
Everything that God had ordered him to say, and all the miracles he had commanded him to perform. When they finally made it to Egypt, Moses and Aaron gathered all the Israelites. Aaron.
All the Israelites.
Ain't that many, huh?
You're right. Like they're a very small tribe. I mean, we're only a few generations from Isaac and Abraham, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And yet it's still a big deal to enslave all of them and like build pyramids and things. Which reminds me, if anybody sees Deviant, I came across an interesting hypothesis for how the pyramids were constructed, and I would love her input.
It's not aliens?
It probably not.
That's what I was looking at. Like, maybe I'm a little slow sometimes. But when it comes to, like, okay, the flood and everything, and so Noah's family, created the earth and stuff. Wouldn't they be relatives then? That they slaving? Of course, technically that's how it is. But
remember,
people are related anyway. But
after the ark, they all like split up and shit, and like the Shemites eventually mispronounced themselves and became the Semites living in the Middle East, and those are like the chosen people. The people who live in Egypt are the descendants of Ham, Canaan's kids, even though Canaan is actually in the Middle East and not in Egypt, but like all of Africa is descended by the children of Ham. For some reason, it's like not actually written in the story. It's shit people made up later, but whatever.
You have summoned a deviant.
Oh, hey, there's Deviant. I have a migraine, so I'm not active in chat, but I'm listening. Cool. It's a complicated idea. It'd be very difficult. Someone proposed a hypothesis for how the Giza pyramid complex specifically could have been constructed, because we see from all the gazillion other pyramids that were built, they're very difficult to build correctly. But there's this construction technique that if you build it not with like a wraparound ramp, but like building tiers of trapezoids with ramps in between, you could get all the way to the top to build the top perfectly and then deconstruct the trapezoids. I know it's a lot like the wraparound ramps, but it's different for an important reason. You're not just piling sand and shit. You're using cut blocks. And then you like restack those blocks to build the other buildings in the pyramid complex. And it turns out if you add up all the stone for the pyramids and the outbuildings and so forth, it's the same amount of stone as you would need for this trapezoid ramp system. So basically, the trick with building a perfect pyramid is getting the angles right so you end up with a perfect apex. This is so difficult to do. Most other pyramids around the world just don't have an apex. They're flat on top. Giza has them, and it may be because of this solution. If you start with the apex and then remove blocks as you go down, you can make sure everything lines up because you're starting with the apex. It's basically doing a carving. It's the same thing as when Michelangelo used to talk about carving marble, is he would visualize the sculpture and then remove the pieces that don't belong. It's the same thing, except you're building a supersized block of granite or basalt or whatever the fuck it is, and then removing the pieces that don't belong, and then reusing those pieces for other buildings. Put it very, very simply. Deviant says, I know the hypothesis you're talking about, and it's a good one. It's one that's won a lot of ground in later years. Yeah, the reason I mention it, I've heard versions of it over the years, but there's this specific formulation of it. It's apparently published relatively recently. I've seen so many fucking videos in the last couple of weeks, I can't keep straight what goes where. But yeah, anyway, it does get complicated. So oh, Jester, of course, knows what the hell I'm talking about. Jester knows all the things, shockingly enough. Anyway, I digress. But as you know, people do come here for the tangents. We actually have this side. We have a merch about it over there. Yes. It's the very first thing in our merch store, which may or may not be listed below the video with all the other cool goodies that we have available for you if you want. But I digress.
On top of repeating everything God had said to Moses, also performed the miracles for all the...
Sapphire says, is the internal spiral ramp hypothesis still popular? No, we actually came up with a test for that one, and it's the coolest fucking test. Once we developed muon detectors, we set up muons are like super subatomic particles. They're sort of like neutrinos. They just go right through everything, right? But we have detectors for them. The resolution, the sensitivity is stupid low, so you have to leave them out for a really long time to gather enough particle interactions to create an image. But since they go right through everything and their passage is slowed by denser matter, you can use them to generate something of an MRI-like image of solid objects. So we set up a bunch of these detectors around the pyramids, and we were able to get a sort of a map of what, or a scan, if you will, of what the inside of them looks like. And unfortunately, it ruled out the possibility of internal ramps because there's no sign of some of the telltale things that would have to be there for internal ramps. But it did show us a big fucking gap that we had no idea was there, and we don't know what it's for, and it's fascinating. But also, muon detectors. How fucking cool is our science?
People to see.
Wait. Aaron can do the turn his serpent into a staff with the touch of his hand thing too? My goodness, these guys don't need ED meds at all, do they? And now Moses is going to show off his leprosy. What a miracle. Look, everyone, I can give myself leprosy. I'm telling you, divine STDs. That's what we're doing. Yes, I know leprosy isn't an STD, but like, maybe don't make out with Moses if he's just handing out leprosy.
He told them that God had been watching over them and that he had seen their affliction. The Israelites believed him, bowed down, and worshipped God.
Look, he gave himself leprosy. Praise the Lord. But
so that's all it takes, huh? To worship God.
Right. Well, that's sort of like the standard of proof for theism that we see all over the damn place. Like, you'll get people who are like, the Quran is easy to memorize. Praise Allah. Like, even if that were true and you accepted it as a supernatural miracle, how does that point to any specific God, though? Like, what? How? You're not proving this is magic. You're not proving where the magic comes from, and you're not proving, like, it's not even connected to the divine being you're claiming. Like, if you worship the god of leprosy and were able to turn leprosy on and off like a light switch, maybe I might accept that as a miracle for the god of leprosy. But, like, what are you doing? I can make a rabbit appear out of a hat, therefore Zeus is real. The fuck does that have to do with anything?
After that, Moses and Aaron presented themselves before the Pharaoh and said,
as one does, you just walk in and you're like, howdy doody, Pharaoh dude. you know, with all the guards and shit. You just walk in, you can, especially when you're part of the slave race, you can totally do that.
To him, "This is what the Lord God of Abraham has said. Let my people go, so they can worship me for 3 days in the desert." The Pharaoh said, no. Who is that God for me to obey and let the Hebrews go? I will not let the people leave. The God of the Hebrews has come out to meet us, they told him.
So the original idea isn't to let my people go, it's to let my people go on a vacation. It's a faith retreat kind of thing.
For 3 days in the desert.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, you walked longer than that to get here. Why do you only want 3 days? My goodness. Deviant says, Ember, you're forgetting that Moses supposedly was the brother of the Pharaoh, adopted brother, but still, that's, well, yes, I too saw Prince of Egypt, the wonderful cartoon, even though it is definitely religious propaganda, and has some weird ideas about Egypt, but never mind. Yeah, like, what the fuck is happening? Like, okay, so hypothetically, adopted brother to the Pharaoh. Cool. He leaves the kingdom, renounces his citizenship, I guess, but comes back and is like, I'm with the slave people though. And also let my people go on a work vacation, on a trust retreat. Like, how do people not get? Okay, so let's recontextualize, right? Like, say Donald Trump had a brother, and as Donald Trump was about to come to power, his brother renounced him and disappeared. And then a few years later, he shows back up and he starts talking to the most oppressed people in the country. And he's saying, actually, I found out I'm one of you and I couldn't be around him anymore because of how evil he is. But if you accept me as your leader, whether it's black people, whether it's rainbow people, whatever the case may be, he's like, I'm actually one of you. I was only adopted. Follow me and I'll lead you to freedom. And then immediately goes back to talk to Trump and is like, as your brother, I need you to let my people go. Like, is it not really, really apparent that this is a tactic to get the people most inclined to revolt under your thumb by way of a proxy? You know?
That makes a lot of sense. Put it that way, though. It does make a lot of sense. Like, wait, when you with Pharaoh brother or something, I'm gonna worship you for it. But listen to what you have to say. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I wish we knew more historical information about what was really going on in this time period. We know the Exodus story is fictional, but like clearly the ancestors of the people who did do the conquest were somewhere at this time in history. Where were they? What was going on? And also, what was the real political situation in Egypt at this time? Like, there's so many real questions that could have fed into the creation of these stories. And I'd like to know what the truth was. It's hard to say from the fictionalized accounts, you know?
So we must make a 3-day journey to the desert to offer sacrifices to the Lord our God. Otherwise, he will punish the Egyptians with plagues. Why are you distracting the people from their jobs? You aren't letting them work, said the Pharaoh.
You're taking work away from the people. How dare you? You fucking religious types. You're like, the people want to work. The people want good jobs. Oh my goodness. You know, the United States has a very unusual relationship with labor. In a lot of places, we have labor unions. In a lot of places, we don't. In the places where we don't have labor unions, workers have to follow, they have certain laws that were won by protests by labor unions, but the employers don't have to follow all the same rules because some of the rules only apply to workplaces where there is a labor union. However, the employers have learned some workarounds for the labor unions. And so you end up with a situation where you need the unions to protect you from unscrupulous capitalists, but the unions themselves can also be an oppressive problem. For instance, at one of my first jobs, it was at a grocery store that happened to be unionized. It was a closed shop. You had to join the union to work there, which I'm pretty sure isn't legal in and of itself, but never mind that. You had to pay, you're at a sub minimum wage job already, and you have to pay 25% of your paycheck to the union for the privilege of working there. So the union's already not doing a great job. One of the reasons we justify union benefits is higher wages. The union is responsible for your wage being higher than it would be without them, and you pay part of that difference as dues. But that's not what was actually going on at this grocery store. But also, like, a thing that sticks in my mind is I was asked to dust mop. They didn't say dust mop aisles 1 through 4. They said dust mop. And so I dust mopped. I did the whole store. It wasn't a big deal. And then I immediately got yelled at by the union rep because I was only supposed to do aisles 1 through 4. And by doing the rest of the store, I was stealing work from my union brothers and sisters.
How dare you? But no,
it's so fucked up. Like, communicate to me then. Holy crap. Other Kelly, Godless Granny, says closed shops are legal. Well, that's unfortunate.
I work in one. So yeah. But they end up getting it back because with some of the last administration, he changed. It was like the right to work thing. We don't have to be part of a union. But there's certain things that, okay, if you don't sign up for the union, there's certain benefits we're not going to give you. Certain protections we're not going to allow to. So that sometimes happens when you don't join the union.
I don't know. It's complicated. The lawyers are winning at, like, everything benefits the lawyers.
Yeah.
It's crazy nonsense. I have my pearls because I thought I'd end up clutching them a lot more today, but it seems not to be the case. But we're not done yet.
Blah, blah, blah. And he kicked the men out.
He did not kick them out. They very clearly turned around and walked out. But also, why didn't they show him the miracles? Why didn't he says, why should I obey this God? This is the moment you whip out your serpent and flop it in his face. Why wouldn't you do that? Or show him your leprosy hand.
Blah, blah, blah. That same day, the Pharaoh forced the Israelites to work even harder so that they wouldn't be able to listen to Moses and Aaron. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah.
I'm like, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. So like
I know. It's so great because like nothing they say actually matters.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's incredible.
Upon seeing this, Moses prayed, "Oh Lord, why do you treat my people so poorly? This is why you sent me? Ever since I came before the Pharaoh and spoke your..."
Moses is like the worst fucking emissary because like it's not I'm even as a non-theistic person, I can see that it's not God treating the people poorly, it's the Pharaoh and his minions. Like, Moses, why are you so dumb? And why does God pick dumb people to be his prophets?
Because blah blah blah.
Right? Holy shit.
Name. He hasn't done anything but mistreat my people. You haven't done anything to free them. And God said to him, "Since the Pharaoh did not let them leave, I will demonstrate my power. They will know that I am God." Moses argued with God. And how is the Pharaoh going to listen to me if I am so close?
I wonder what the word God means in this context, because in this story, there's an understanding that there are other gods, right? Like the miracles that the Egyptian priests do, They may not be as flashy as Moses's, but they do work. Where is that power coming from? If not another God, right?
Clumsy to speak. God told him that everything was okay. He reminded Moses that he was not the one who needed to speak. It was his brother, Aaron. He let Moses know that when the Pharaoh said no, God would go into action, and all the Egyptians would know that he is the Lord. Once again, Moses and
Well, if he's like, why doesn't he just take ownership of Egypt? Like, I'm the biggest god in town. All of you should worship me. Like, why doesn't he just take over and make his chosen people the priest class? Like, why do we need to run away if you're so big and bad?
Aaron presented themselves before the Pharaoh. The Lord told Moses, when the Pharaoh asks you to perform a miracle, you'll tell Aaron to take his rod and lower it to the ground before the Pharaoh. Then the rod will become a serpent.
Blah, blah, blah. So it's so important that Moses carry his staff to do this trick, but now we're going to use Aaron's rod. Performance anxiety, Moses? And also, if he was adopted and raised as Pharaoh's brother, how is he also Aaron's brother? Like, I'm probably missing like a 1 or 2 sentence part of the
we have
story.
a couple of biblical scholars in here. Maybe they can answer that. I don't know. Yeah, I wondered that too. Because what that means, and Aaron, because he didn't know who his family was. Oh, hold on, I don't remember. Didn't he find out who his mother was? I don't know, the Prince of Egypt he did.
All right, let's find out. We have to do a research now. How did Moses find out Aaron was his brother? Okay. The AI says he found out through family, background, and divine confirmation. Well, that's not super helpful. Cora says Moses was found and nurtured by Pharaoh. Right. We know he was found by Pharaoh or whatever. How did Moses have brothers? Aaron is described in the book of Exodus of the Hebrew scriptures as a son of Amram and Jochebed of the tribe of Levi, 3 years old. You know, that's not super helpful.
Yeah, I remember that basket because he was going to kill the firstborn sons or something like that.
Yeah, that seems to happen a lot.
Quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it almost strikes me as like a Jesus and John the Baptist situation. Like they're both prophets, and so later stories kind of put them together and are be like they actually work together though. And in this version, they were actually brothers though, possibly to fight back against, since so many of the miracles are the same miracle. It's trying to say, well, this is why they can do the same miracles because they're brothers actually, you know. I don't know.
Oh, you're right, Deviant. Moses' mother goes into service into the palace as a milkmaid for the princess who finds him. You're right. See, it's been so long since I've read.
Moses' mother volunteered to be his wet nurse. Oh my goodness. His mother put him in a basket. Yeah, the murder of the children thing. But like, how did he find out Aaron was his brother? Other than God said so, you know? Like, when he talked to the burning bush, did he already know Aaron was his brother? Or was the bush the moment, like, I will send you to meet this brother you've never heard of before named Aaron, who will always...
If he figured out that was his mother, then I guess he would have known that was... But when he killed him then, though? That's weird. Yeah.
I don't know. I suppose I could phrase this. When did Moses find out Aaron was his brother? Moses was informed by God that Aaron is his brother while at the burning bush.
What you said?
It's literally it. That is literally it. It's like he doesn't have a brother, and then suddenly the bush is like, yeah, you have a brother. And He's good at the talking. So I will conjure him into the story and you'll meet him on the way.
My brother.
Holy shit, these are the worst.
Moses,
fucking
I am your
stories.
father, and Aaron is your brother.
Holy shit. You know, folks, we know these stories are propaganda, right? Like, that's what they're for, that's what they do. But if you want a good story about propaganda that specifically talks about the propaganda in the Bible, but also tells some other cool good stories besides, I can make a suggestion for that. I'm a little. I should have typed this beforehand. I should just have this link ready, but I am bad at my job.
Yes.
There is a book for this. It's called God's Propaganda by our friend of the community, Kip Davis. I have the audiobook and I'm very slowly going through it, but it's available in Kindle, hardcover, paperback, whatever the fuck you like. You can get a copy. Apparently, there's even a blurb written by Paula Gia on here somewhere.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah. Dan McClellan has opinions. Justin Sledge has opinions. So yeah, check it out. And I mean, as you know, I am a bit of a connoisseur of books. I go through dozens of them a year, and I don't read nearly as fast as I used to because I drive a lot less. I do a lot of my reading through my ear holes, you see. But it's a really fun book so far. I still have a ways to go, but it's really fun. So anyway, I'm capitalisming all over the damn place. That's right.
I might have that Arthur on my show one day.
Hell yeah. Life goals and things. Yeah. Oh, we had such. Oh, hold on. Maybe I have. I don't know if I have like the thing saved. I don't have a copy here, but what I do have, completely unrelated, is as you know, sometimes our good friend Bree is on here, and pertaining to, if you're new here, you know, hit the buttons, especially the subscribe button, because
it's okay. You can touch it. You can touch it if you want to. I won't tell anybody. I won't hurt you.
Bree just shared that with us this morning and was like, you could use it if you want. And I'm like, oh yes, I very much want. But what I actually wanted to show you guys that I don't actually have a copy for is, you may have seen this short already because it's just viewable on my channel, but I am very amused, and so I'm going to share it here.
I love Marduk. I know that you're stuck with this asshole who's not even there, who is making everyone worship sin. But me, I am Marduk's biggest fan. When I come in, we're gonna get rid of this sin nonsense, all this bullshit, and we're gonna get things back to the way they were when Nebuchadnezzar and his family ruled Babylon. The good times,
we're gonna make Babylon great again.
You guys remember those? We're gonna make Babylon great again. I love.
In fact, come to think of it, I'm sure you've all seen that before because it was on an earlier episode of Learn Together Live. But like I said, I am very amused. All right, let's do some more plagues.
Miracle. That is what Moses did. Mm-hmm. And Aaron's rod became a serpent. However, the Pharaoh called the Egyptian wise men magicians
and if your rod becomes a serpent, you can. Well, I mean, you could wash it off, I suppose. You could keep it clean.
Rub it till it get back
clean by heading over to epicwaterfilters.com. Code number 15 at checkout for 15%.
I want to say rub it till it get back hard, but it's another.
Sorcerers to do the same. Each of their rods also turned into serpents.
So who did that? Is that other gods, or is there power from somewhere else? Like, it's verifying the other gods have power too, isn't it?
Still, Aaron
They
served
got loose.
in
They got
the
loose
others.
snakes though.
Despite this,
If your serpent likes to eat other serpents, well, friends, we also have a flag for you, which is also available in the Ember store. Welcome to the community.
I was about to say maybe you in the Ipsy file.
Oh shit.
the Pharaoh's heart hardened even more, and he didn't allow for the people to be free. God told
That fucker ate our sticks.
Moses that because the Pharaoh wouldn't accept, it was time to act. God told them to go to the Nile River when the Pharaoh went out to bathe. God told them what to do.
Is this terrorism? It seems like terrorism.
Yeah, because how the hell they
not going to do what we meet
like
our
he on the
demand.
beach.
We're going to start blowing some shit up.
Once there, Moses, through Aaron, said to the Pharaoh.
Moses through Aaron said to the so Aaron said to the Pharaoh, like, what are we doing here?
The God of the Hebrews has sent me to tell you, let my people go to worship me in the desert. But since you didn't want to obey me, the Lord says, now you will know that I am the Lord. Aaron.
my invisible friend is going to kick your ass. Just wait till my daddy gets here.
Struck the Nile River with his rod. Immediately, the river and all the water in Egypt transformed into blood.
All the water, all of it, throughout all of Egypt.
The streams, wells, and ponds were filled with blood.
Oh my God.
The fish died, and the river smelled rotten. Even then, the Pharaoh still did not let the people leave.
No.
The Pharaoh called his magicians and...
I mean, if you just like did a major terrorist act, like, remember, Egypt lives on the Nile. Like, it's not just built along it. That is the life of Egypt. If you fuck up the Nile, you just killed a shit ton of people. Why the hell would he do what you said now? You know?
Sorcerers to get rid of the plague. But God would only get rid of it when Moses asked. A few days later, Moses and Aaron once again asked the Pharaoh to let their people leave. They warned.
Like, why even take it back, though? Like, once you've already done it, just be like, I'll change it back once you let my people go. And I'm not going to until you do, you know?
That more plagues would come, but the Pharaoh was very prideful. He did not let them leave.
No.
God sent 9 more plagues to the country of Egypt. The plague of frogs.
Now, this is a fascinating one. I don't know if Godless Granny is still here, but a video Godless Granny did a while back was about an oddity in the translation of this particular plague, because the way it's phrased, it could be read as there is one giant frog. And the idea of a kaiju frog terrorizing Egypt, I don't know. It's something fucking delightful about that. I don't know if anybody has the link handy, because this is an obscure reference from a while back. But if you have a link, please do share, because anybody who hasn't seen that video absolutely should. It's so much fun. The plague of one frog. One giant Godzilla frog.
Thousands of frogs came out of the river. Please tell your God to end this plague, said the Pharaoh. Okay. Will you let my people go? No.
Well, well, why did you end the plague, though? Kelly says, I'm surprised you're... Of course I remember that. I remember everything. No, I don't remember everything, but holy shit, I remember more than I'd like to. But I will say this. I don't know if it's true for everyone or just me because of my unusual anatomy, but my memory works a hell of a lot better on estrogen than it ever did on testosterone.
The plague of lice. The dust of the earth turned into lice.
Why are there bald people with, like, that's one of the early treatments for lice, is if you get lice, you just shave your damn head because they need hair to live in, you know? Like, what are we doing?
And attacked the Egyptians. Stop it! Will you let my people go? No!
Very well.
The plague of flies. Thousands of flies.
How, if this were real, how are the Egyptian people not revolting by this point? Like, understand, like, Moses just has to go out, or Aaron has to go out and say, people of Egypt, all these harms you're suffering are because your Pharaoh won't let my people go on a 3-day vacation. Like, you think let them eat cake had a bad outcome? They would murder this Pharaoh for
they're
putting them
still
through all this.
slaves. They're still slaves. They're going back after 3 days.
I know. It's fucking wild.
And this is the story this is actually the story that caused me to really think about what the hell am I believing. This was really helped me with my deconstruction.
I mean, some of this shit, stuff like it did happen. Like, we know plagues of locusts are a thing that happened in the ancient world. They still happen from time to time. You know, you get the right conditions and the grasshoppers do their mutation thing, and suddenly, boom, there goes, you know, an entire region's crops.
Yeah.
Devoured. You know, it happens. It does actually happen. In fact, locusts really only come in a plague variety. Like, they swarm. Because you need the population pressure to trigger the metamorphosis. It's an actual biological change. And so it only happens when you have the right circumstances. But so some of this shit does happen, but some of it is just weird.
Egyptians. Moses asked, well, no.
That's well.
The plague among the cattle. All the Egyptian animals died. Because
all the animals.
What the
all the water turned into blood. We're also skipping over how the Pharaoh's magicians also turned water into blood after all the water had been turned into blood. There is no non-blood water. The Pharaoh's magicians turned some water into blood, even though there's no water left to be turned into blood. Never mind. We're just like, I realize it's a children's cartoon, but we're skipping some rather important details, you know? Kelly says, some think the insects caused the frogs to multiply.
Interesting.
It's a viable hypothesis. If you overfeed a population, they're going to reproduce a lot.
Pharaoh refused. More plagues came. The plague of ulcers.
Like, why not? First of all, are ulcers a plague? But also, that sounds like a contagious disease. And also, Moses can make a leprosy hand. So, like, why do we need any other plague? You know?
Plague of hail.
That's just weather. Like, you could have extremely bad weather. Yes, very damaging weather. We've seen even in the modern age with modern construction, hailstorms so intense, it does a lot of damage, not just to crops, but to people and objects and so forth. But like, that's just weather, though.
The plague of locusts.
Again, that's a thing that does happen. Now, if all of these things happened one right after the other, that might be a little suspicious. And if you've got a dude claiming that there's a magical cause behind them, that might catch some people's attention, perhaps.
The plague of darkness. God caused this.
Did you know, in celebration of the plague of darkness, to commemorate the plague of darkness, that it still gets dark to this day, every single day? Once the sun sets, darkness. That's why. Yeah. Behold, proof of Ra. I mean, proof. Proof of Ramada. I mean, it's proof of someone, I'm sure. Yes.
sun to stop rising for 3 days in Egypt. There was darkness.
Okay, so there was a 3-day blackout. Almost like the 3 days they want to go on vacation for. Could they have snuck away in the 3 days of darkness, do you suppose? Maybe? I don't know.
Throughout the entire country. Despite this, the Pharaoh still refused to let the people leave. Finally, the last plague came.
Ah, yes. The loving God sends the angel of death. Now he's finally getting directly involved. Well, semi-directly. He's sending one of his own minions instead of recruiting a human to do his dirty work. But, like, how fucked up. Like, this whole situation started because a previous pharaoh wanted to unalive all the babies, and then God does the same thing back. It's almost like this was how the story started, was with this as retribution, and the rest got added later as a buildup to justify the divine. It wasn't terrorists who did this. It was an angry God because you wouldn't let his people go on vacation. It's almost like an ancient labor union, I suppose. We're going to go on strike until you let us have a 3-day break. You know, I don't know. It's wild. Anyhow, of course, there's more that could be said. We are quite a bit over our normal time, though, and that's really the gist of it, is God is the source of all plagues and diseases, apparently, because someone pissed off Moses, who in turn pissed off God by not mutilating his son's genitals, and it's a wild tale of vengeance, retribution, and strange diseases. But we can actually learn a bit about what was going on at the time, or rather, times later. There is some historical value in going through these myths, because even though we don't learn about the reality of what was happening, it tells us about what the people at the time these were written thought, felt, possibly even believed. How much is literature? How much is metaphor? How much is mythology? That's why we have scholars. It can be difficult to tell. But regardless, it tells us a lot about the way people thought. This is what they pictured a god as being. He can send an angel of death, or he can turn the river to blood, or he can turn a stick into a snake. But show himself, heaven forbid, you know?
No, definitely not. I mean, if I can do all that stuff, I want everybody to know the hell I am.
It's what, you know, and I get a lot of flack from theists sometimes because they're like, oh, well, you're just an atheist. You're going to be an atheist no matter what. As I've said many times before, I have seen enough weird shit in my life that I am prepared to call those things miracles. If someone can demonstrate to me that any of these God claims are behind it.
Yeah.
Why? It's not so much that I don't believe in any God. It's that I don't have a good reason to believe in your God over any of the others that are proposed. Why should I be convinced your God is the real one?
Makes sense to me.
Or you know, if let's presuppose for a moment there is some kind of supernatural force in the universe, which we also don't have sufficient evidence to accept, but let's just grant that for a moment. Why would it even be a god? Why not something less anthropomorphic? Why not a force? Why not a will? Like this conception that the ultimate power in the universe is a human-like being that thinks in a human-like way. And this is how humans are made in God's image, because the ultimate power in the universe thinks the same way we think, is supreme arrogance. It'd be like a fucking beetle thinking the supreme power in the universe thinks like a beetle. And the humans are just weird with their mathematics and language and shit. But the real God clearly thinks about leaves and munching and whatever the fuck beetles think about. It's so ridiculous.
I just live every day. It's too much thought process. I don't know. I have so many questions. That's why I'm here today. Because I had so many questions that didn't get answered.
Alas. I mean, I hope y'all had fun. I know I did.
I did. But it's always fun being on here with you anyway.
I don't know how much we actually learned today, but like,
it was worth the laugh.
Don't fuck with gods. That's how you get plagues.
Because even if you have your own serpent, he gonna eat your serpent.
He's gonna eat your serpent. Holy shit!
Better not pull your serpent out.
Don't let a god anywhere near your serpent, because you know what happens. It's plagues, it's mutilations, it's all sorts of unpleasantness. Oh, thank you all so much for joining.
Yes.
Thank you for participating. Thank you, Kelly, for being here. As always, if you're new, if you've made it this far, you must be liking what we're putting down. We're here every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern time, and often bonus shows, probably one later today. So, please take a second to...
It's okay, you can touch it. You can touch it if you want to. I won't tell anybody. I won't hurt you.
Push the buttons and things. And as always, remember... we learned about the transformative power of the leper hand.
Yeah, we learned, yeah. Man, I would be sick by leprosy. Farewell, you got leprosy. You got leprosy.
Hell yeah. All right. Bonus show later today, probably TM. The Humanity Live tonight, 8 Eastern, and other stuff is happening too. I can't keep track of everything.
I'll try to get what I can get while I'm at work. I'll be lurking and working.
Hell yeah. Alrighty, folks. As always, remember, you don't have to turn your staff into a serpent and get all excited with the touch and that's so weird, because you are better than religion. Toodles. Mwah. Thanks to all our patrons and top-level members for January. Miranda, Karen Butcher, Jessica the Transmetal Alchemist, Robin Webster, Maya Adkisson, Jimmy Tux, Ian Chen, Lilith, Ember Lynn, The Barely Bearable Atheist, Eric Wander, Jason Jacoby, Lil of All Trades, Deviant Outcast, Secular Feelinist, Kelly King, the Detroit Atheist Queen, Geo Sam, Thriver Scapegoat, The Godless Engineer, Why Because Weed Bro, and Katie Bluebird. And you can add your name here next month by signing up at patreon.com/betterthanember, or by joining Emberships here on YouTube at the Cinder level, which also includes all the custom emojis, tons of member-exclusive content, member-only live streams, and a bunch of other stuff. I deeply appreciate all the supporters who keep this channel going. Thank you so much. Because of you, we're building a wonderful community that I'm very proud of.
Just like a spark that's breaking out, can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt.